Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 4,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 110 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
Hey guys, welcome to this episode of NXT Then Now Forever. Just a heads up, we had some audio technical difficulties in the process of recording this show. We were actually in an area where there was a lot of background noise. I tried my best to try to mix this thing up, to try to lower that, but if it comes up, I apologize, and it won't happen next week. But here's the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week of NXT Then Now Forever. I'm James Boyd, and I'm here with the host of Keepin It Strong Style, the editor-in-chief of Social Suplex.com, the one, the only, Jeremy L. Donovan. Jeremy, what's going on?
Nothing much, man. We are here in New York City, man. I'm pumped up for WrestleMania weekend. And once again, excited to be on NXT Then, Now, and Forever, man.
Yeah, like you and Rich are basically like lifesavers. You guys are bailing me out every time there's an issue, and I appreciate that. But I guess it's time for us just to go ahead and get into the show.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Yeah, so we're going to start off with 5 years ago, this week's NXT.
Brothers, are you not aware what NXT has become? Have you been living in a cave? We're the future of this business, man. We're young, we're hungry, and we're just as good as anybody on Raw or on SmackDown.
NXT episode 215 from April 3rd, 2014. Out comes Emma. We get a video package of Charlotte faking an injury to beat Emma in a match from a few weeks ago. The announce team shows itself to be Regal, Phillips, Saxon, and Renee. And that's the only time we see Renee because women are fighting. So, without fail, that always happens. So, the match starts with Emma upstaging Sasha with some shenanigans, and Sasha gets control of Emma's head after running Emma's head into the middle turnbuckle. The crowd chants, "Sasha's ratchet." It's still as racist now as it then at that point as it is today. Sasha gets on the apron to distract Emma. Sasha runs Emma into the ropes. Emma moves out the way, and Sasha takes out Charlotte, and then Emma ends up slapping on the Emma submission. I forgot what it's called. The Emma Lock. That's right, yeah. The Emma Lock. Yeah. How could I ever forget? The Emma Lock on Sasha for the win.
Yeah, so I mean, it's real interesting, seeing Sasha pre-purple hair, pre-theme music. Yeah. And then it was funny also seeing, old goofy Emma out here, jigging, doing a little dance in the bubbles, and just how ridiculous she was being, wrestling a more comedy-based style, wrestling like she's like Toriano or somebody.
Toriano, oh my god.
But yeah, I mean,
the disrespect.
It was a fine match. Clearly on a bigger stage with more time, both of these ladies could have probably delivered a better matchup. This was kind of a quick TV match to kind of advance the rivalry between Emma and the BFFs. And so, yeah, it was fine. The previous week, they got one up on her with Charlotte beating her. And then, so this week, Emma got a little bit of revenge. So if I remember correctly, I believe that this eventually leads to Emma and Paige against Sasha and Charlotte.
Makes sense. immediately after Arrival, they said that Emma and Paige had become friends because they gained respect in their match. And then, sure enough, you have these two assholes show up on the scene. So, you know, it's just, you imagine it's a matter of time before they did the match. But it's been so long since, and we get to it, but it's been so long since I've seen Paige on this show that I forgot to like. Yeah, she didn't debut on WWE until the night after WrestleMania 30. So they just basically had her on the shelf for just like 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think what happened is they sent her on the house show loop for the main roster, and she missed that day of tapings at Full Sail. So I think that explains why she was out for about a month worth of NXT TV. So I believe that she should be popping back up on TV soon.
Okay. Yeah, so we get the same Mojo Rawley video package from a few weeks ago.
I don't get hype. I stay hype.
Yeah, it's more or less, if I remember my writing from when I wrote it down a few weeks ago, it was like, if one man can be this strong, this powerful, and this hype, imagine what he could do if he was hyped all the time. I'm Mojo Rawley, and I don't just get hyped, I stay hyped.
And now he's hyped in a room with a mirror.
Yeah. Get that hype off your nose. So then we then get a plug for Zayn versus Graves later tonight. We then get a Undertaker versus Lesnar WrestleMania 30 commercial, and then the Ascension versus Jack Hurley and John Vandal. Now, if you're unfamiliar with those names, it's because these guys are jobbers.
Yeah, and it's fun. Vandal, he actually wrestles as Vandal Ortegoof on MLW and local Florida Indies. So it's kind of weird. Like, I had no idea who he was back then, and now looking back, now I know who he is, seeing him here.
Okay, so what's his wrestling lot in life now that he's on MLW? Is it better, or is he still out here?
It's about the same. He's a jobber on MLW as well.
This man's out here doing the job skis.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Oh my god, I said job skis like I'm freaking Caleb. Wow. Okay,
What's up, Caleb?
Yeah, it's wow. You never go full Caleb. Anyway, Connor and Victor beat the hell out of these two poor bastards until they hit their high-low combination finish for the win. We then go and get a Scooby-Doo WrestleMania mystery commercial. Then we get a actual WrestleMania commercial to promote the entire show. Then we get Xavier Woods versus Clay. This poor fucking guy Xavier just comes out and he gets his ass whooped every single solitary week on this fucking show. Throw the man a bone. It's amazing that you look at it now and you look at their lots in life between Brodus Clay or Tyler Breeze or Rusev, and look, Rusev's had a pretty nice career. Did he meet Lana? He met Lana out on yeah. Okay, he met love his life, out on the road or whatever else. But so one person is a part of the title match on Sunday for WrestleMania. Somebody has been selling lots and lots of merch. Somebody has their own YouTube channel that sometimes has Rusev on it.
Yeah.
You tell me who really won.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I wore all those ass whoopings, and I'm where I'm at, and where your ass respectful.
And one guy's about to have.
I think I'm doing a little bit better.
One guy's about to have its own sneakers, right? The new.
Yeah, the New Day sneakers. Wow. Yeah. So. Oh my god. That was Rich in the background. He doesn't want to participate because he wants to pretend to be asleep. Anyway, Xavier keeps Brodus off balance with some kicks until Brodus tosses Xavier around with a T-bone suplex. Brodus begins to slow it on down and then slaps on a nerve hole because, of course, Woods gets back on his feet and then fights back for some chops and forearms at a Shining Wizard until Clay cuts him off and then hits a sit-out power bomb and a second row splash for the win. And then after the match, Clay cuts a promo saying that he wants a NXT title match. So then we go immediately backstage to Neville, who I guess is Johnny on the spot, and immediately addresses what just happened seconds ago. It's convenient how that works out, right?
yeah.
It's almost as if this is all pre-taped to put together. So he says Clay has to go earn a title shot, and mention how that Clay is trying to get the easy way out by struggling on the main roster and then trying to come to NXT, but he has a new flash for him by saying that the NXTers are as good as the main roster guys, and he is. I don't know about some of these other green people, but whatever.
But I mean, eventually, yeah. I mean, he had the vision. Because now majority of the NXT roster is better than majority of the main roster.
I seriously doubt that Neville thought that like they were going to just bring in like, you know, Keith Lees and Riddles and Garganos and Dijaks and Walters and Dunns and NXTs and shit. Like I don't think that was in the cards at that point in time in 2014.
Right.
Look, I'm sure he had vision, but that is some real, you know. All right, you got vision like that, and I need these Lotto numbers. Real talk. So
before we move on, quick, what are your thoughts on Brodus Clay?
I like the Funkadactyl gimmick. I mean, as far as taking him serious as a ass kicker, once you do that to him, the toothpaste out of the tube, the train has left the station, the genie's out the bottle, all those cliches, like you can't. We done here. Like the horse has left the barn. The bull has left the chute. I'm done. I have no more of those.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought the Funkadactyl, somebody call your mama gimmick was good for him. I thought he felt comfortable with it. I thought that could have been an upper mid card act that lasted for years and years and years and years.
Yes.
So I don't know what eventually chose them to strip the gimmick from him and then send him back to NXT. Obviously not the greatest in-ring worker, but I thought he was passable. He had some great suplexes and T-bones and stuff like that, like we saw in this match.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of disappointing to see somebody like that, unique kind of look and size, kind of be wasted away. He's not an Impact anymore. I don't think he's wrestling at all right now. That's kind of a shame.
I think the last time I saw him was actually on season 1 of Glow.
Oh yeah,
like a TV show.
Yeah.
So, it's weird because like for me, I enjoy squash matches and I enjoy like the squash matches he was doing where he was like doing funny stuff while it was happening. But like, I'm cool on like it was a 3-minute match and he beat the piss out of somebody. Like, cool, fine by me. Like now all these matches need to go like 12 minutes or be filled with chin locks and. Are they still called chin locks or are they like now called Corbin specials?
I call them like the Corbin lock.
The Corbin. Christ. Yikes. So, then we get a best of WCW pay-per-view matches volume 1 DVD commercial. Then we get a John Cena versus Bray Wyatt WrestleMania 30 commercial. And then we get Yoshitatsu versus Tyler Breeze. Breeze starts out in control for a couple minutes until Yoshi starts to come back. And then Breeze cuts it off almost immediately and then nails Tatsu with a spinning heel kick for the win. Quick match.
Yeah, once again, Tyler Breeze, no full entrance music yet, no selfie stick, still kind of using the beauty shot, the spinning heel kick, hasn't switched to Unprettier yet. So yeah, it's very interesting to rewatch these episodes and kind of see all these like top NXT characters and they're kind of in the beginning phases and like they're right on the cuffs about to break out and get their own full, production entrance themes and all the little like nuances that made them stars.
In NXT.
Yeah, in NXT. Yes.
And then they go to main roster and it's just like, all that stuff you guys did, I'm not going to use any of that for reference.
Never mind that.
Yeah, no, no, thank you. I'll do my own thing. Like I'll ruin these guys on my own. No thanks. So, then we get a backstage Sami Zayn interview. He basically runs down Graves and then says he's going to beat the piss out of him. Then we get the same video package from a couple of weeks ago from Paige where she says, she's not the typical diva, the anti-diva stuff. She says it's her house and anybody that disrespects it is going to have to come see her. So then right after that we get a backstage interview with Paige and it more or less says Charlotte needs to stop hiding behind her daddy. Ooh. So we get Sami Zayn versus Corey Graves. Graves spent the beginning of the match hiding in the ropes and takes a Kevin Owens-esque heel powder out on the outside. Sami chases him and beats on him with some boots, a suplex, and clothesline over the top rope down to the floor. And then Sami lands a flip dive over the top rope onto Graves, who was at the bottom of the entrance ramp. Graves cuts him off, and we go to a commercial break because when you pay $9.99 for a network, that's exactly what you expect, commercial breaks.
That'll teach them how to work for TV.
Yeah, if you say so. So we come back from commercial break. I'm sorry, the commercial in the middle is for the horror movie Oculus. We come back and Graves just grinding Zayn down with a side headlock down on the mat. Graves beats on Sami more and then slaps on another side headlock and takes it down to the mat. Graves beats on Sami yet again and takes him down to the mat again and get another motherfucking side headlock. And then Sami gets to his feet, gets some separation, and Graves cuts him right the fuck off. And then Graves finally beats on this fucking guy. Then Graves beats on this fucking guy for a couple pin attempts. And then they somehow both knock heads for a double down. And then Sami and the announce team put over that Sami is selling a concussion. And Sami can't pull off a maneuver off the second rope. So then the ref ends up checking on Sami, and while that's happening, Graves takes advantage by punching Sami in the head, and then slaps on his submission finish that looks like a inverted figure four / Indian death lock deal.
Yeah,
that looks cool.
Lucky 13.
Yeah, so then Sami ends up passing out, and then Graves wins via ref stoppage.
Yeah, this match felt like it went on forever.
Dude.
Forever.
If you are a person that watches these Corbin matches or these Jinder matches or these Elias Hill matches, and you're just like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? Why do all these people keep throwing on these shitty rest holds over and over and over? Like, why don't you get some guys that can fucking work Vince? You go watch this thing with Graves, and then you see that he is now the head or one of the lead announcers on both shows, and you're just like, makes sense. He prefers guys that can talk shit or whatever else and actually like being worth a damn in the ring, even though that doesn't really hold for someone like Corbin or someone like Jinder, but Graves is definitely like improved with his presence in front of ring crowds and everything else in a 5-year like flashback from like 5 years ago watching the show that I've seen at times compared to now. He's definitely improving that thing. Even though he's still comfortable on the mic, he just like it's more like he went to the next level with it over the last 5 years. Yeah, but in the ring, nah, this ain't it. Like if you can go out there in a main event and have a bad match with Sami Zayn, you are not good at pro wrestling.
Yeah.
You need to find another occupation. And happenstance, unfortunately, what happened to Graves, but he's in a much better spot now where he's getting paid to do what he is best at, which is talking, not wrestling, not grappling, not. This is not Bret. That was not Bret Hart's wrestling. This is just not. No,
dude. This right here was classic WWE PC 1-on-1 wrestling. Slap a hold on and work
and
it.
Hold on for dear life.
Yeah, it was rough. It's not too long after this that Corey Graves is done. It's kind of ironic. This whole storyline is about Graves giving Zayn concussions, and then pretty soon it's Graves ends up with another concussion, which sidelines him indefinitely from wrestling.
Did you say sideline?
Yes.
I'm not gonna do it.
Sideline.
Oh man, I was trying not to do that because of his career, but you did it. I didn't do it, so I guess thanks. Anyway, we'll be back with this week's NXT.
Wait a minute. Did I just hear that right?
Wow.
You think you are going to become the next NXT Women's Champion? Actually, I think that's going to make you a failure, just like your husband this Friday in New York. And then the both of you guys could be failures together.
Candace, just give it up. You weren't created to be admired and appreciated as women's champion. As a matter of fact, the Vision has deemed you a lower. Congratulations.
Failure, huh? Yeah. You two know a lot about that. Yeah, good. Good. Failure. How about this? I'm going to earn my NXT Women's title opportunity. And you know, I think I'm gonna start by knocking you on your bougie ass.
Welcome back, and we're here to give you the goods on NXT from this week. NXT is episode 499, and it is on the date of March, April 3rd, 2019. We start out with the War Raiders coming out, and they're going to fight these two unfortunate souls. This is total ass whoopage. The War Raiders hit the alley-oop power slam for the win. I still love that move so much. So then Hansen gets on the mic and says, and asks for more teams to destroy. So then out comes Cesar Bononi and Adrian Jaoud. They come out. They beat the piss out of those two suckers too. And then we move on to a great hype video for Pete Dunne versus Walter. I think someone may die.
Yes, dude, I am very excited about Dunne and Walter Takeover. I think Walter is going to murder Pete Dunne. He's going to cave that man's chest in, leave him broken.
You're going to take that man's straps down and then just
chop the living crap out of Dunne. He's already disrespecting that man, calling him Peter on NXT UK TV. So yeah, I'm hype. I'm all about this Dunne and Walter stuff, man.
Okay, so we get a Candice LeRae interview from earlier today when she's walking to the, Full Sail, and they ask her about Johnny's big match on Friday. She says she's excited for him, but she has her own dream of being a WWE champ, so she's going to be watching the Fatal 4-Way on Friday. Forgot they moved because they didn't want to compete. So then Aaliyah and Vanessa Bourne roll up, and dude, are we gonna talk about this?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Okay, so Aaliyah's dressed like a Real Housewife of New Jersey. She looks like a veteran. Like this is like her 8th season, or she comes back for like the All-Star version, and then Vanessa is dressed like Julia Roberts before she hit Rodeo Road in Pretty Woman. I think that's said on. That's
pretty much. Yeah, I mean they're trying to do something with Vanessa and Aaliyah and giving them a push with these I don't even know what to describe it as, but they're trying. But the real question I really have coming out of this segment is, why haven't they done more with Candice LeRae than her just being Johnny Gargano's wife?
Dude, I've been saying that for Rich. How long I've been saying that about they need to do more with Candice LeRae and let her be more than just freaking Johnny's wife? Has it been over a year? It has to be over a year.
Yeah, it's been a long talking point, I would think, of the wrestling community at large. I think it's a reflection on how women are looked at as side objects of their husbands in lots of public areas.
Yes. So they have made. So thank you. You can sit this one out the rest of the way. Appreciate it. So basically, what I'm saying is not she's being she's getting played on the side while she keeps getting sidelined. We're on the time to see you when it's time for you to help this Johnny story angle, as opposed to she's also a very good ass wrestler. So maybe if you also use her. All the storytelling between their relationships, you can put tension there in the storylines, whatever else, and it could do more for the women's division and the men's division, especially when Candice can be so valuable to that division when they don't have Shayna and Bianca are the two top women in the division that they allow to talk on the mic and be at the forefront of that aspect. They need more I love Kairi, I love Io, but we gotta do more of these promos in theory, and you got Candice right there, and this all we're doing is she's fighting Vanessa. She's fighting jobbers.
I just don't get it. She can wrestle. She can talk. She has a good look.
She got all her teeth.
Yeah,
like, it's just,
I don't know what more they want from her. I mean,
what more do you want from me?
And they've been doing this thing on Being the Elite where they kind of tease Joey Ryan. Where's your blonde friend that always got your back? Because her and Joey were a team on the Indies. So I'm kind of curious. Like, is she kind of been quietly asking for a release, or is her contract coming up and they're teasing her coming to AEW, or maybe there's something completely different? I don't know, but if I were her, I would be trying to look at, potentially going to AEW or Impact, some other company that's pushing women's wrestling and that could utilize her to her full abilities.
Yeah, I seriously doubt her contract. I mean, she just signed like less than 2 years ago. Yeah. But whatever. Yeah, so to get back to the lecture at hand, like after those two come up and looking just ridiculous, and they say you going for the women's title, like you're a loser just like your husband. So then Candice responds that
called her a lower.
Yeah, yes. Vanessa actually referred to her as a lower, which is like that is incredible. That needs someone at a higher position needs to steal that and use that. So then from there, Candice says that she'll be looking to start earning her title shot by knocking Elias Bougie ass on the floor. So then she walks off, and then like Aaliyah like scoffs and is just so upset that and so insulted. So then we get Jackson Riker versus Oni Lorcan. Yikes.
Boy.
I'm just going to run through this thing. We have the Forgotten Sons at ringside with Jackson Riker, and we have Danny Burch at ringside with Lorcan. Like Jackson charges, but Oni is able to able to get a lockup. After that, we end up getting Jackson just overpowering him over and over, and ending with a slam off the ropes, and then ends up dropping Lorcan to the floor. Blake and Cutler are on these shenanigans, but Gunner ends up telling them to stand down, and then they just relax. So then Riker then drags Lorcan back in for more punishment, and gets a gutbuster for a 2 count. More punishment. Lorcan keeps getting up, and then he eventually grabs some beard, and then you already know what it is: chops, slaps, European uppercuts, all levels of just. It was a hot tag. I mean, straight up, it's our only hot tag like it normally is. But that didn't stop. That didn't stop him. He ended up hitting him with the sit out choke slam deal for the pin. So then we get a video package to hype up the Gargano versus Cole 2 out of 3 falls for NXT title. It was a great thing, and it ends up leaving like a meme worthy, all time meme worthy gif where the Undisputed go to Tampa to train. And somewhere in the process, while they're training and doing all types of calisthenics and whatever else, they show, I believe it was Roddy holding up a styrofoam board that's like 4 inches thick, and apparently Adam Cole practices his super kick on a fake board, like a damn yellow belt.
Dude, that was freaking hilarious. Do you see all the serious training?
Yes.
He's actually doing like burpees and all this rope training and lifting weights, and all his his boys are coaching him on, and then out of nowhere practicing the super kick.
It was like a 30-second version of what is it called? 24. Is it 24/7 Sports for boxing?
Yeah.
Like with the big fights when they follow people to training in their lives or whatever else and getting ready for a fight. It was like that condensed into like 20 seconds, and 10 seconds is Johnny in Cleveland, going back to Cleveland to work on wrestling and working out like in almost like a wrestling shack or whatever else. old school. It's almost like a Rocky thing between like the new age versus the old age, and the baby face gets the old stuff because it makes you feel more down to earth, that sort of thing. And then they did that, and it's like, God damn it, you fucking clown! Like you couldn't just not do something to pop yourself,
right?
You just couldn't hold it. But either way, they turned out great or whatever.
Yeah,
else.
dude, I love video packages like this where you see the wrestlers training and getting ready for a big match. It always makes me think back to the Iron Man with Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart.
Right.
The training videos they showed.
And Bret was like, he felt like they made it look old or whatever else.
And so I love, just showing wrestlers actually taking this match that's coming up seriously, making it feel like more of a big deal. This is for the top prize on the brand. So I'm really loving that. So, James, we're going to take over live on Friday. This is the main event. Your boy, Johnny Gargano's in the main event. Do you think he's going to pull it out? Do you think they're going with Johnny?
Yeah, for the reason, two simple reasons. One, he was going to win the title at TakeOver if Ciampa had not got hurt. And then two, they took him off the main roster. Like, they could have left him up there just like they're leaving Ricochet and Alistair up there to keep doing stuff or whatever else. They didn't do that. They brought him back down, so that just tells me, like, well, he was going to stay down there anyway. Now, I know there's been lots of talk about him moving on to 205 Live, and that's still a possibility, just like it's a possibility for Adam Cole or whoever else to be stuck on 205 Live. But, for me, like, if the option were he has to go somewhere, he can't stay into or NXT anymore, go to UK, please, and unjagify the, add to that. So, 205 Live, like, he'll be a cool match, whatever. He'll be he'd be a protected person there and do a lot of cool stuff, I guess. But like, it's just he's the top guy on the third brand. Why would you demote him to being the top guy or one of the top guys on the fifth brand? Like, that sounds like hustling backwards.
Yeah. I think going with Gargano would be the right move here. We've had a heel champion for quite some time in NXT. I think it's time have a babyface champion. Johnny should have had already been NXT champion by now.
Yeah, I know.
I love Adam Cole. I think he could be a great NXT champ too. But if you had to choose who should go up on the main roster right now, I think Undisputed. I would send Undisputed up over Johnny and leave Johnny kind of run NXT.
I would too if they decide to leave them as a faction, but I can't trust Vince to leave the guys as a faction.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I can't trust Vince. But I hope. With their size and Vince, I feel like
exactly
they need.
If they're gonna go up, they need to be all together to have any chance to survive. Where they can get away with cheating and blase squaw and use some of that as a storytelling element in their matches, whatever, to help get them heat. If you break them up and you just go solo Cole or solo Roddy or heaven forbid solo Fish, that's going to die. That's not going to make it. That's not going to be too fresh off the vine for long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from there we end up getting we come from commercial break and we get the hype package for Riddle versus Velveteen. It's kind of I wouldn't say it's necessarily mind games, but as much as like they both get underneath each other's skin.
Yeah.
In a way that doesn't feel like it's like either one is actually trying that hard to do it or thinking that much to do it. They just like naturally.
It's just the way they are. Yeah. It's you got two opposite polarizing personalities kind of clashing here. You have Velveteen, who's more
a gimmick.
Yeah, a gimmick. A living, walking gimmick, flamboyant.
Yes.
Very self-centered, cocky, arrogant character.
Yes.
And on the opposite side, you have, the original bro who's, very laid back, chill.
In earnest.
Yeah. And everything's cool. Both of those personalities just continue to clash. And so I'm very curious to see what these guys are going to end up doing at TakeOver. This is a match where I feel like both guys could benefit from the win. Who do you think is going to get the win here?
If I were them, if I were them, I give Riddle his first off right here, so it doesn't seem so predetermined. Like, nobody's going to be upset that he loses to Velveteen, because Velveteen's one of those people, like, it's funny that we talk about the video package from Adam Cole talking about how much of a takeover loser that Johnny is. Meanwhile, like, I asked you, like, has he beaten anyone in a singles match on Takeover? Your answer was no, and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure the answer was no. I was making sure. So, Velveteen also has I think he also has a losing record on Takeover. So it's like, you can give him one right here, and you can move on, and nobody's going to second guess like a guy that just has only been around for like roughly 2 cycles, or this will be his 3rd Takeover. And I don't think anybody would be too upset about that, about him catching L to a dude that's like eventually is going to be an NXT champion and all that sort of thing. So I think that's a good place to put it. Like, but then again, like last time I thought a good place to put an L on somebody was like Royal Rumble where Asuka beat Becky, and then sure enough they did, and then look where we are now. So what the hell do I know, right? So
and I think the main thing too is that there's a possibility that Velveteen Dream could be called up, and so there's been rumors for a while of Velveteen being called up, so you could have Velveteen drop the belt and then put it on Matt Riddle, and then you have Velveteen called up.
Yeah, that's also a possibility. I never that kind of. I guess maybe even because he's done the call me up Vince thing, and it's kind of like kind of wonder. It's something that I never really considered. It's like more like it's a joke. It's down the road, and like he's a great big match performer, but I don't know about on the road all the time, like wrestling like a fucking 80s like a fucking 80s wrestler. I don't know if that's gonna fly like when you got Ricochet flipping all around in these tag matches or Cesaro and Sheamus. I heard like stiffing dudes. I don't know if that really will fly. And then you always got to worry about like whether or not they gimmick translates as much as we love it, and how much Vince will actually take to it and actually like give it some care. So I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, like, yeah, he can go up whenever, because like they'll bring up anyone whenever too. Like they just brought up Ciampa even though he had a fucked up neck,
right?
Or a neck that needed or was going to need surgery, and then like this expedited the.
They want to give him main roster experience before it was time or whatever.
That experience put his ass on the shelf. He may never be the same again, or if he's lucky enough to come back wrestling. Anyway. So then we get a flashback to Lee and Dijakovic from what I just couldn't believe was 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the double count out, and then the Performance Center deal. So then they do an interview with Keith Lee, and Keith Lee said that they were bumped, which, that's because of the 5-way, of course, or in theory it was because of the 5-way, and on screens because of the 5-way, and to determine who's going to go on to fight Johnny Gargano in the main event of TakeOver. So he says, like, I am an event, Keith Lee, and says that he's talked to people, and he kept going on to, like, delay the inevitable of telling us that, when is this fucking match going to happen, bro? I need to know. I have the calendar so I can, like, build anticipation. I need to know this match. Quit wasting time. Tell me when the match is. Give me what I want. That's not what I want. Give me what I want. So then he finally says that it will be in 2 weeks, meaning it's probably like the main event of the first hour of taping of the new tapings after New York.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, God damn it, you teased me, and now this thing is going to be the pre-show of TakeOver in front of that great crowd, and like now I'm contemplating whether I want to go to this thing, and it's like. I mean, I guess this is one of those, like, complaining things. Like, I'm complaining about good problems. Like, yeah, I'm like, damn, now I have to, like, contemplate when I'm going to go to see this fucking match. It's like, I know people listen to this, they're like, you asshole, I live in Arizona. I see it once a year. You live, like, 2 hours away or an hour and a half away from Full Sail. You can go in there, you damn well please. And this is what you're complaining about? Go to hell. So... You know what? I'm sorry. I will go to hell. I am being spoiled by this. But I will also like to Sony out by letting you know this will be my fourth takeover? No, third takeover. I'm saying my third takeover. So suck it. So,
I did find it quite weird that they are waiting until the next taping instead of doing this on as a pre-show match for Takeover. Because I feel like for the Mania Takeovers, they usually try to up the ante with the pre-show matches. But
well, we found out that they're going to do Eichner and Bartel versus Street Profits, so that match is going to be great.
Yeah,
this pre-show match. I mean, and also, anytime there's opportunity to do Candice LeRae in a carry job versus Aaliyah, you just got to do that. Like, that's a main event. That's a main event match anywhere in the world.
That draws, man. It's like Keith Lee and Donovan Dijak, Candice LeRae and Aaliyah. Yeah, you got to go with Candice and Aaliyah.
They were like, look, man, we can't let these fucking kaijus go out here and outshine our main card on the pre-show.
We could have the best match of the show as the dark match opener.
Yeah, you're like, nah, we ain't even gonna let y'all get the opportunity. I like that. The what's your boy's name? Treyway, Takashi. Stupid. I'm not even gonna let you get the chance. so then we get advertisements for the matches we just talked about for the pre-show, and then we end up starting up with Bianca Belair versus Kairi Sane. They're having a not much of a back and forth match. At the beginning, they start wrestling, and then they get to a point where Bianca gets the advantage, and then she blows a kiss at Kairi, and it's very similar to their match at the Mae Young Classic, where Kairi quickly in a funny fashion catches the kiss out of thin air, throws on the ground and stomps a mold hole in the kiss, and it upsets Bianca, so they go to wrestle, and then from there she's flustered. So Kairi takes advantage and lays all the spectacular offense on her, and then we get a point where she gets cut off, and Bianca's more or less playing the role of a heel. She's holding her down, she's slowing that tempo. And then Kairi fires back and just takes over with Inceptor spears, elbows off the apron to the floor. It just, the typical Kairi stuff. And then we get to the point where we're about to get a match finish, and then we end up getting a run-in from fucking Shayna and Tweedledum and Tweedledee for
her goons.
For the fuck finish. And then all of a sudden, Io comes out. So then it's 3-on-3, and then refs come out to try to separate it, but they're geeks, of course, so that doesn't hold anything. So the whole story of this whole entire cycle has been that Shayna's been vulnerable. She was going to lose at Phoenix, or she was visually beaten at Phoenix. She got pinned by Io in that 6-way tag match in the first week back or second week back from Takeover Phoenix, and then ever since then she's been doing nothing but attacking the women's roster in locker room and beating people up in matches that have nothing to do with her, and she's getting her heat back, and she also laid out the other contestants in the women's match at Takeover New York, and the close up that storyline, because they tell stories that have beginning, middle, and ends and transitions and all tied together. While those 6 are fighting in the ring and the geeks can't stop them, the women's locker room comes out and they all beat the piss out of these 3 assholes, and it finishes with Io hitting a moonsault onto a crowd of women on the floor, grabbing the women's title while Kairi watches, looking a bit jealous, and we end up going to black from there. Yeah.
Also, before that, you forgot about Bianca Belair. She press slammed.
Oh, that's right.
Lacey Lane onto the crowd.
Before the moonsault, that's what happened. I totally forgot. Yes.
That was a good match. My note says here that it was 8 minutes and 40 seconds. I felt the match was a little bit longer than that.
It's almost like the Kairi match in War Games against the 2 out of 3 Falls. Like, that match was incredible. And it was a dead sprint, but that did not feel like a 10 to 12 minute match. It was. It totally was. And I was like, this thing felt like it told a good story or whatever else. And but honestly, in the match tonight, it was. I mean, they've had a better match. Their first match in Mae Young Classic was better than this. And they weren't trying to top it. They were just trying to have a match that they knew was going to have a fuck finish. And that's one thing I kind of appreciated. Kind of aside from that incredible Dunn and Ricochet match, it was title versus title, back in the fall of last year. They don't go out there and do epic match and then give you a fuck finish as an excuse to get out of it. Like, they'll give you a match and then you can kind of gauge by like how talented these people are in the ring and like what they may have done before. And then like if it's not matching level, you can just almost like it's almost like 97. It's almost like 97 NWO WCW days where it's like you get to the main event and you can already like once it looks like you're getting towards the conclusion of any main event match, you just start seeing people in the crowd just like looking towards the ram, looking to the back, knowing there's gonna be a run in.
Yeah,
you know someone's about to get their ass whooped, gang whooped, and spray painted. But yeah, yeah, I appreciate you coming on the show, Jeremy. That's the end of the show, guys.
Real quick, before we sign off, we gotta get a prediction for this match. So who do you think is walking away with the belt?
I would say Bianca. She had her beat last match at Takeover, and I think it'd be really easy to turn her heel on a dime. I mean, she you know, just kind of like the Velveteen thing. Like she's so like she was a heel, and then like people kind of like gave you reasons to just stop like booing her as much, and then like people like her because she's awesome. So yeah, you can turn that back up, and that gives you more of an opportunity to send like you can do throughway matches. You can like tease Ascension and the chase, or both the chase between Kairi to get her belt back. She never got cleanly beat for. Or EO trying to rise, and that can lead to tension between them and a triangle of trying to fight each other. And also, like, Bianca can carry them promo-wise and carry these programs promo-wise, where it's opposed to, like, if you just do EO comes and wins, like, that's cool, but, like, she hasn't really done much to garner that. It's like, she hasn't gone out and, like, beating the piss out of people left and right or whatever else in the way that, like, they kind of built Kairi up for Shayna as like, I beat you in the Mae Young Classic final, and we have this history kind of in, like you kind of built your name in NXT when you beat me, and on your way to getting to Ember. So like now it's kind of full circle. They haven't told that much of a story with EO. I mean, they could belt her and then have her turn on Kairi. Mm-hmm. Like that would definitely work. Like Quiet as kept like EO is better as a heel. From what I've seen, she's incredible. She does all the stuff she does, but she has like more attitude and tougher. So I can see that, and obviously anybody get like I feel like it's really easy to be able to play heel when Kairi's opposite as a babyface because like I mean she's just the best. So I would say that EO or Bianca, but most likely Bianca.
Yeah, I mean, with the way the angle ended tonight, I think it would be too obvious for EO to win the belt.
And also, she also wouldn't touch the belt. And I'm pretty sure you heard me like,
don't touch it.
Don't touch the belt. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that.
But I do, I agree with you. I think Bianca Belair
Don't touch the precious. Don't touch the precious.
I think Bianca Belair is the way to go. Like you mentioned, she was so close to winning it last TakeOver. EO, I think, is a little bit too soon to kind of belt her up quickly. Kairi, she's had the belt already, and then Shayna, I mean, she's ready for a call-up. However, I could see them potentially keeping it on Shayna if they ever want to do something with Candice. I feel like Candice versus Shayna is a great feud and story and rivalry waiting to happen.
Oh yeah, they've already had two great matches. Yeah. I think honestly, you go through Shayna's Mae Young Classic, and it was just, I mean, she had a match with Mia. It was a smart match, of course, because it's a Mia match, and then. You get to Candice, and they had Johnny, which is funny because like, how did the Mae Young Classic figure out how to show that like they mutually support each other in their endeavors in a way that doesn't make it look like, oh, that's just Johnny's wife. Yeah. But same people like they completely forgot that. So anyway, like they have the match, and it's more like Shane's playing the bully, and then this cute little blonde girl like fires up and beats piss at her and has her reeling. And then she goes for her, the swinging
neck breaker off
swinging neck breaker spot, and she turns it over into the care for the clutch off the rope, and it was a great match. And then she ends up either she slaps the hold back on after the match, or she never lets it go, and then she does in front, and then Johnny like gets in the ring or or is on the apron, or on the barricade, and she smiles and smirks in front of it. It added to the character, like, you want to see her beat. And then they had a match sometime last year, and it was told a similar story of, big bully, tough and strong in the beginning, and then babyface fires up, and they went from there. Another great match, and I love their when they wrestle each other. Like, Shayna can do a certain match very, very well, and she's gotten better doing other matches, like body part matches.
Yeah,
but her trying to shoot is she's the big bad bully that gets sent reeling, and then you just want her to get beat so badly. I think that's where I'm at. But thanks, Jeremy, for coming on the show. You want to get plugs in?
Yes, so you can follow me on Twitter at Jeremy L. Donovan. You can also follow my show, Keepin It Strong Style, at KI Strong Style. We're right here every Tuesday on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. So if you're listening to this show, you are on the Social Suplex Podcast Network, and Keeping It Strong Style is there along with all other great shows. And if you're hearing this before Sunday and you're in New York, come on out to Suplex Mania at the Hooters at 33rd, right across from Madison Square Garden, doing our live podcast event and WrestleMania watch party. So come out, hang out with your boys, get some wings, get some drinks, enjoy WrestleMania with us.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate you for doing that plug for me, but I'll just finish up the rest. Guys, be sure to rate us on whatever app you're using to listen. Tell the folks about the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Be sure to check out powerslam.tv, the sponsor for the show. If you're a fan of independent pro wrestling, they have over 4,000 hours of footage from all over the world. You can use the promo code Social Suplex to get your free month's trial. Don't forget to visit prowrestlingtees.com/Social Suplex to pick up your official Social Suplex Podcast merchandise. You can get yourself a Ricky and Clyde Wrestling Show podcast shirt. You can get yourself a One Nation Radio shirt. You can also get yourself a Keepin It Strong Style shirt, so you can go ahead and pay ties to the Strong Style Dojo or studio, whatever you want to call it. I prefer to call it the dojo.
And there is a sale on Pro Wrestling Tees this week, Wednesday through Monday. The annual WrestleMania sale, 20% off the site. So it's a perfect time to get yourself some Social Suplex merch.
Yes, and go ahead and do that so you can cut into Josh's hair product fund. So he didn't like that. So be sure to check out our other shows on the Social Suplex Network. On Sundays, we have One Nation Radio. On Tuesdays, we have Keepin It Strong Style. On Wednesdays, we have Ricky and Clive Wrestling Podcast. And every other Wednesday, we have Grown Man Watch Your Shit. On Thursdays, moving to Thursdays, maybe I should do like the old NXT, or the old SmackDown. SmackDown.
Yeah.
Moving to Tuesdays. Yeah. Tuesdays. Not Friday anymore, Tuesday.
We filmed some commercials.
Years ago, we were Thursdays, and now it's Tuesday. And then we're going back to Friday for all that money. So anyway, NXT Then Now Forever on Thursdays. And then on Saturdays, we have All Things Elite. Thanks for listening.